Hello and welcome to the Story of My Pet podcast. I am your host, Julie Marty Pearson, and I am so excited to be here with you today to share this new episode and share with you a returning guest. Back when I started this podcast in 2021, I put it out there, didn't edit, didn't really do a lot. I just got on Zoom with my friends and we talked about our pets. People started listening. Then people started reaching out wanting to be on the podcast. And some of those people were Brian and Kristina. Back when I met them, they had started their business, Frame Your Feline, and they were still new and they were looking to grow. And it was a great conversation because we bonded over our love of cats. We had lots of fun and we followed each other ever since then. I always feel like, they're my friends after I have them as guests on my podcast. And then we follow each other. We're on each other's email and newsletters and all of that. So even though we haven't met on Zoom again or even in person, we feel like we're friends and we get to catch up. So one day, a few weeks ago, when I got an email from them about how they got to be on Shark Tank, I was like, what? This is huge. I have to get them back on the podcast. And that's exactly what I did. So Brian and Kristina joined me again to talk about what's been going on over the last 2 years since our first interview and about their experience about applying to and actually getting on Shark Tank. I was so excited to watch their episode 2 nights ago. And even though no one bought in during the show, I know there is more to come. I can't wait for you to hear my conversation with them, hear us catch up, and hear about their journey and how being connected into the Shark Tank world has changed their lives and their business. And then soon I will have another follow-up where we get to talk to them post-episode. In this interview, they could only tell us certain things because they have a contract with ABC and Shark Tank, so they're only allowed to talk about specific things. They can't give a lot away until their episode is live, so we will definitely bring them back again. But until then, enjoy this episode. Go check out their episode on Shark Tank. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Hello, everyone. Welcome back for a brand new episode of the Story of My Pet podcast. I am super excited to welcome back an old friend of returning guest, which I really love that. I get to do this right now. I've been doing this long enough. I can bring people back and have updates. So welcome, Brian and Kristina, back to the Story of My Pet.
Thank you.
And here's Poppy.
Hi, Poppy. What a cutie.
It's so good to be back. It's been a couple of years, Julie. It's been a couple of years.
You okay?
I hope you've missed us because I was expecting an invite earlier than this, but okay, whatever. It's okay.
You know what I have realized about the online world is because we see each other's posts and videos and we comment and we feel like we get to see each other every day.
My name is Brian.
And I'm Kristina.
And we are the founders and owners and the entrepreneurs behind what's behind us, which is called Frame Your Feline.
The cat shelf reimagined.
That's right. Your cat jumps into the frame and they become unwitting works of art. They become meowster pieces.
A living meowster.
A living meowster piece. That's a live cat. That's a live cat. Just so you know.
Poppy, she's a rescue from the Palmdale Animal Care Center. We got her and another cat at the same time as kittens named Mojave. So they're named after where we live in the Mojave Desert.
That's correct. Yes.
I love that. I always love hearing people's pets' names in this story because there's always a story. There's always something there. Just like when I spoke to you guys about William the Possum, there was a story there.
I know. Well, since our last meeting, Julie, have you named any pet after me? Ryan the turtle?
I have not. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
We do have turtles. We have tortoises. We have 2 currently. One is
Wow.
Bullwinkle and one is Spike. I did
You
not
gotta get
name
a third?
either of them. I do not. That was not my doing.
Julie, you got to get a third and just call it Brian.
Maybe when I finally get to have a dog again, it can be Brian. I think that's appropriate. Like
I'll take
Brian
it.
on Family Guy.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Deal.
And I know you're going to hold me to that.
Well, name is trademarked, so you're going to have to pay me a royalty if you do name your
royalties.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so why don't you tell everyone listening a little bit about how Frame Your Feline came to be?
We were living in an apartment in LA and we were looking for homes. We had just had our first and only son, Jackson. And we had cats at the time. We wanted to do some kind of feline enrichment on our walls, but we didn't really know what we wanted to do. And what we were looking at was just a bunch of like shelves or things with rope. And we were like, that's not really the aesthetic that we want. And so when we moved into our home, we were hanging up some fancy art that my dad had sent to us that had been framed and matted. And I was like, how can you get this kind of an aesthetic, but with a cat? And Brian said, you mean frame our cat? And I said, yeah, frame our cat. So thinking about it, because we knew, I'm looking around our house now, like we have all these great walls. We knew we wanted to do something for us, but that they would get exercise with.
vertical space means something aesthetically pleasing. Those cat shells and no, don't do that to yours. Don't do that.
Boring. Cat trees are dusty. We had a powder blue, like 3 foot tall, ugly carpeted cat tree. One of our cats, Frosty, would just hang in the bottom of the box. Anytime we'd have to go to the vet, we'd have to like physically pick it up and shake him out and be holding on for dear life. The thing was so dusty. If anybody threw up on it, Brian would bring it down the back stairs, hose it off, let it air dry, bring it in, and it would have the smell of formaldehyde for a week. So we were like, we're not bringing that thing with us when we move.
The struggle is real for cat parents. And I will totally get it. Like, I had just come in here yesterday to record or get on Zoom for something, and I hear the throw up sound. I can hear it. I run in there, and of course, Charlie is on the ground now, but he threw up on the comforter before he got down. We're constantly doing laundry, but also so much of what you guys are talking about, like cat trees, they're great, but they take up a lot of space, floor space, room space. So what you guys created is something for people, which a lot of us are limited on space. It gives your cat somewhere to hang out, but it also is pretty or cute looking to see.
Even when the cat is not in the frame, it doesn't look like cat products, screaming, ugly, yucky cat products.
And Julie, and the second you said down, Poppy jumped. Oh, I think she was like, she's giving me a command. Get off the table. Get down.
Poppy, I didn't mean for you to get down. But also I think it was good because that shows people how easy it is for the cats to get in and out of. Like sometimes we have to put them places into something, but the little kitties can just jump in and out. And
they tend to do it they do it on their own. You don't need to put them in it. They don't like our studio lights when they're on, but they will spend crazy amount of time in the frame because they feel like they're in a box.
Yeah, like they're a little bit hidden.
What was the cool thing that we discovered? Because when we put our first beta version on the wall, we didn't know how the cats would react to it, and it was like a magnet.
And we picked them up and put them in it. We just sat back and ignored it and would walk around for the first couple of days and be like, they're on the shelf, they're in the frame. Okay, this is good.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. I think any cat person knows you cannot force a cat to use something. It is up to them. No matter how cute or fun or exactly what you think they want it is, toy, bed, whatever, they will decide if they want to use it.
Yes. And so I think prior to our conversation, the initial one with you, we had sent out the beta version of Frame Your Feline to 4 cat families throughout the US that had fat cats, small cats, fancy cats, regular cats, indoor, outdoor cats. And we asked them to install it. How was the installation process? We made it super easy, apartment friendly. Oh, then we said, do any of your cats not like it? They're like, oh my gosh, they all like it. And actually, we need more because they're in it, they're on top of it, they're on the shelf next to it. They love it. And the bottom is carpeted. So, like, they had to get that cat tree feel, scratching, and they can jump on top of it. They can climb through 3 ways, but usually they climb from left to right. They could jump in. So they get lots of movement in and around
this. Yeah, I was just thinking, she was here earlier, but she hasn't joined. Pumpkin made an appearance an hour ago. Sometimes she's been jumping on my file cabinets behind me, but there's not really space for her. I'm thinking, oh, I think I might need to rearrange some things.
Yeah, what would be really cool is if you had one behind you and you put some of those pictures around it, it would really look like a gallery wall.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to
jump in, and you could put your logo.
This will probably be backwards on this one.
Yeah, so we do.
No, it actually looks the right way to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we do customized work panels. Can you get the other one? So that one has
OMG.
Big logo, right?
This has.
And then we also do it like this.
Oh, that's like cool. Like a wallpaper kind of repeating.
Oh, because then you can take pictures. Your cat will never cover all of your logos. This is what we learned from Hollywood here. This is the red carpet. That's why they do this on the red carpet.
And the thing is, for someone like me who has multiple podcasts, I can switch it out depending on which podcast I'm recording an episode for.
We could.
Oh my goodness.
Julie After Dark. You know what I mean?
Oh boy. I think you're going to get me starting more podcasts.
Yeah, you need because you want to change the sign out, yeah.
Right.
That's a new idea.
I love it. Yeah, it's so funny because it doesn't seem like it was 2 years ago, but I've seen you guys grow and expand. You guys do a lot of great things in the cat community. You go to a lot of events, but you also really rally around utilizing your business and your platform to support cat rescue. And so before we get into the big talking point of why we decided to record again, I would really want people to hear, like, how have you guys gotten more involved with your local community and also the wider cat rescue community since starting your business?
So here locally, we live in the Antelope Valley where spay neuter resources are really expensive, and then the low cost ones or no cost ones are really hard to find. And also in LA County, if you take a cat that you find in the shelter, they're going to tell you to put the cat back out on the streets, that they're free roaming.
Yeah, for people listening, that's a California law. Because I've seen it myself, and people get so mad at the shelter workers. They do not make those decisions. Cats are considered free roaming in California, so unless they're sick or injured, shelters typically will not take them.
Yeah, sick, injured, an owner died, or somebody's spending money as an owner surrender. But it is sad though, because I think the system is faulty there, because they'll say, put them back outside. They're not fixed yet. What do you think's going to happen? So they should spay neuter them and turn them if that's what they're going to do. But anyway, so while we've been going through our company, growing it, dealing with expanding our manufacturing, we're always working, but we've had some like lulls with doing appearances and stuff. So like, how can we help locally? So I surf on the Nextdoor app. I don't really go on Facebook because there's plenty of people who they're moving to Mars. I say, I can't bring my cat with me. I'm moving. I'm like, you can bring your cat with you wherever you go. So anyway, or somebody died or somebody's terminal or whatever. So I was able to connect with a woman who connected me with another woman who has a rescue, and they pre-screen people. And I feel like the placements are really accurate. They'll take the cats back if it's not a good fit. So through our home, we've had like over, I think it's like 84, 85 cats so far, cats and kittens that we've fostered for a few days and then brought them to adoption events. We've created adoption flyers because we get beautiful adoption photos of the cats in the frame. So people are on Pet Finder and they're like, wow, what a beautiful picture of a beautiful cat, or what a beautiful picture of maybe not so beautiful cat, but it's eye-catching, right? So it works. And then we've also pulled some cats from the shelter. I've helped with transport, but right now they're not here. We have 3 feral cats that we're doing an experiment on. One is ready to be adopted. The other one has made appearances while we've been doing media. We can't pick him up yet. He plays with all the other cats, but he's still feral. And the other cat, this fluffy black cat, he sleeps in the frame on the opposite side here all night long. He's just lounging, but we haven't really been able to get a lot of progress with
Julie, just, I gotta let you know, I think one of these feral cats is a possum. I'm just telling you.
It could be. Maybe William really connected with you guys when I had you on last time, and I gotta go find them. Forget these people.
Spot on.
And for those listening that don't know why we keep bringing up a possum named William, you can go back to their other episode. My husband rescued a possum, and we had a fun time talking about it when we spoke before. But I will say possums, we learned, are a lot like cats. William liked to clean his face with his paws. It was so cute. And he used a litter box when he was inside. My husband got him to do that. So yeah, they are a lot alike. I will say,
I think will eat half of your calf, and oh my god, you'll bleed out. So
friendly.
I'm glad the possum.
Now I will say, for anyone listening, William was always in a cage. He was never given free access in any way in our home, and then he graduated to a house outside, and then eventually one morning when my husband went to feed him, he wasn't there. So we think that he just went off to find other possums. He was ready to live his possum journey somewhere else. We never saw him again. We never saw signs that he was hurt or was injured. So that makes us happy. And for all we know, he's out in San Bernardino with some cool possum friends, having a great time. But I think so much of what you were talking about, Kristina, is so important for people to realize that there are a lot of ways you can get involved in your local community. Cats, dogs, horses, whatever the animal is that you want to support, there are rescue shelters, organizations working to help them. And with cats, fostering is so important because it allows the foster and the group organization or rescue to learn about the cat, to see how do they act in a home, how do they act with other cats. And the pictures, when you said that, people don't realize how much a photo of a cat changes how easily that cat or dog or any animal can get adopted, right?
Yes.
That's so cute.
I would love it if we could do like a trial with the LA County shelters or the LA City shelters, if they would give us space to have a feline frame in every cat area. And I would love to do an experiment where we have pictures of the cats in those little nest boxes where they're scared and you can bleep this out, shipless. Oh, I just feel so comfortable on this frame. I'm moving around. And it's just, it's hard because if I was going to adopt a cat, I'm not want that cat that's all scared to me or what.
And I think that when you see a cat inside something like that, there's an assumption they're scared, they're hiding. No, they're being a cat. Cats like to go inside and feel protected, which is why I'm sure that aspect of the Frame Your Feline they like, because they don't feel exposed. They feel like they're in something and they get to be above and look down and have a view of what's going on. So there's a safety to it, right?
There is, yeah. They feel safe and secure in a feline frame. And that's the magic, yeah.
And some treats never hurt.
Holly is obsessed with me today, and I've had already groomed her, but she's just like all over me. It's the time to shed, and she's
my gosh,
affection. I'm like, okay, girl, and
my cats are shedding. My cats are shedding so bad right now. I'm just like, no one
all over my face.
I do too. I'm like,
but yeah, people really need to understand. I think one thing that rescues don't explain well enough is what does it mean to be a foster? It's obvious to us, but do you have a bathroom? Do you have a guest room? We'll set you up with litter. We'll set you up with food. We'll set you up with toys. It doesn't have to be 2 months long. Could be.
Right.
But maybe it's just a few days. Maybe it's just we fostered a puppy for 12 hours 2 weeks ago. The puppy was found in the desert. Someone had arranged for transport, but the transporter could not have the puppy in her apartment for the night. And I said, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've had a dog or a puppy, but it can't be that much harder than a cat. So we had it in one of our cat kennels in the kitchen, and we took it out for a walk like 12 times in 12 hours. And I had an adoption event with our son Jackson with some cats. And so Brian was home and the transporter came, picked up the puppy, and then the puppy was transported and is now living its best life. I think he's a she. We thought it was a he, it's a she, is in Oregon. So, sometimes it's just, do you have a day? Do you have
right? And that's so important to say, because so much, especially for us in Southern California, like San Bernardino, Kern County is horrible. We are so overcrowded. We have 2 high kill shelters, and it's not getting any better. And the current economic crisis probably is not going to help anything, right? But sometimes the shelters, rescues just need an overnight, a day, a couple days, or a transport, right? They're constantly trying to move animals to area where there are more homes. And so one night or one day can make a huge difference in saving an animal that needs it.
Yeah.
So do what works for you. I used this room, my home office, when I was fostering. We're not doing any more for now. Our oldest cat, we're letting him live out his golden years in peace and harmony. But it's also great fostering, because if you've thought about getting another pet or your first pet, foster to adopt is a great way to see if you're the right fit for that animal and if they're the right fit for you and your home and your family. Right. It's a really great way to introduce pets as a possibility.
And then on a bigger scale, Brian and I have taken on leadership roles within the Mission Meow organization. missionmeow.org. Go give them a follow. We are now board members. We're also business partners, so we contribute quarterly financially to Mission Meow. And then Brian and I do a lot of some social media work, and Brian will do a lot of editing of these videos. A few weeks ago, we were part of a huge event in Southern California in Wilmington, which is just north of Long Beach, and it benefited the people who work for the people of the Pacific Palisades who lost their homes. So they lost their jobs. And so we had a big food pantry, 91 pets were spayed and cats were spayed and neutered.
Wow.
So that's like we just went and covered it media wise. We spent the day talking with people in the community, interviewing some of the rescue heads, and just were able to see it all in action, since it was 2 hours from us, but it was practically
right.
Our backyard.
And that's so great. I saw Sally from Mission Meow posting about that. And if you don't know Sally or Mission Meow, I will link in this episode, her episode. I have 2 episodes with her on the podcast, because Mission Meow is really doing a lot of great things on a larger scale that some of us locally feel like we can't do anything, but we can tap into other organizations or networks and really join a movement for whatever it is that you care about within the animal rescue world. And I think people also need to hear that. So you guys were there to cover it, to talk to people, to share information, to learn, to put it out there on social media for people to know about it. And little things like that make a big differences, especially to the small rescues or overwhelmed shelters, because they just don't have time to do that.
It's amazing what you can do with your phone. You can just reach people. And the big thing is, like, a lot of companies, they were able to donate products to the event for the food pantry, which also included toys and bedding. Give a shout out to the Cat Ball and the Nauvoo and Wildcat. There were a whole bunch of people. And then there were people like the 2 crazy cat ladies that were able to make a financial donation to help with the event, because there were expenses related to it, but some things were donated. But if everybody chips in, then it's not so hard to do something. But if people are waiting for other people to do the work, then it's hard. But it'd be awesome to have a feline fix fest like all over the place. Like we need one every week. Man, it was great. It was a little challenging. I spoke to one woman and she was like, I don't know, there's just all these cats in my neighborhood. I just hear them all the time. And I'm like, So what are you doing about it? Like,
Right.
you gotta trap them, and you gotta talk to Jean, the rescue head, and you gotta call and make appointments. We all have to wait in line and do this,
Yeah.
but it's not, your situation is not going to get better.
One thing I have learned through this podcast and meeting so many different people that are volunteering or working in some aspect of animal rescue is that the biggest factor to helping animals is education. People don't know. They don't know if they've never had a cat. They don't know what feral cat means. They don't know what high kill shelter or non-kill means. They don't know how to find free vaccination clinics or how to get spay and neuter discounted rates, right? So what you could do in your community is help educate people on what's available. So many communities have pet pantries for food, have low-cost vaccine and spay and neuter, but there's so much limited info getting out to help people in various communities to realize what they can access. So
Right,
go follow all your local rescues and shelters and comment and reshare because that's what they need.
we look forward to, as our company grows, being able to also sponsor some of these spay neuter events, especially where we live in the Antelope Valley. We need materials that are translated into Spanish. We need people on foot going to the east side, like talking to people in the community. Don't complain about the cats. Don't injure the cats. Like, they're just doing the best that they can, but we would I'd love to have Antelope Valley as something we do an experiment on and see, hey, we got 20 people out there and we'll give you $5 for every cat or dog you want to bring in to spay neuter. And let's make this happen. Let's really fresh the feral community here.
I will say where I live in Kern County, I'm in Bakersfield. There is a local county or that created recently in the last year called Kern Safe, and it's got both shelters as well as several organizations like Marley's Mutts Dog Rescue. So they've literally built a coalition together. And so check it out because it might be a good example. They've been doing that. They've been walking the streets of areas that is that me? Ringing? I don't know. All of a sudden, oh yeah, it's me. Okay, sorry about that. Someone decided to call me through Facebook. That's a new one. But anyway, the Current Safe Coalition, I am not involved with them at this point. I want to get more involved, but they've been doing that. They've been on the ground, people walking house to house with pamphlets in English and in Spanish, explaining to people the resources available and how they can tap into it. They've done several huge vaccine clinics, like hundreds of dogs and cats. So
I love that.
But that's also multiple organizations coming together to make that happen. And like you said, with the big event you had, it takes a lot for something like that to happen. And so I'm sure there are ways for us to do it, but we have to get support from other people. We can't do that kind of stuff alone.
Right. That's like where the big companies that have a lot of money, it's nice when they donate product or they donate money. And then the smaller businesses can donate manpower, female help.
I love how you guys are utilizing your business and the platform to help cats as well as to make them look pretty in people's homes. So back to Frame Your Feline. One of the reasons we reached out to each other to do a new episode was because you guys have something very big coming up, which is you're being featured, Frame Your Feline, on Shark Tank. So I wish I had a shark emoji. Do I have oh, I might need to find that. Okay. So tell us how that happened and then also how people can watch.
Okay. Let me start. I'm going to start. When we created this product, when we saw the cats being magnets to this Frame Your Feline, we knew we had magic. We knew we had something. And we looked at each other, this is perfect for Shark Tank. We just knew it. And when we did our first big outing for Frame Your Feline, which was at CatCon in 2023, when people came by our booth, at first they didn't know what they were looking at because we can't have live cats at CatCon. They won't let us do that. So we would have these. We have these like animatronic
stuff. They're therapy cats.
Therapy cats. And they're in the frame. And when people were walking by, they were looking like, is this an Afterlife product? What is this? And then we have a monitor that's over here.
I'm sorry, I just realized what you meant. An after, like,
It was
you
your
need
dead-
somewhere to put your taxidermied pet.
Yeah. So we're like, no. Look at the video. So they would see the video and they would see the cats jumping in the frame, posing in the frame. And as soon as it clicked, people's brain went from like, whoa, wait, why didn't I think of this? Everyone.
And people couldn't see the monitor because we had so many people in our booth. Now we can change that around. You learn as you go, but we had it at the lower level. Now we're like, it's pure and they're not dead.
Yeah. And so everyone was like, you gotta be on Shark Tank. This is a Shark Tank. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. And then we would do other pop-up events for Best Friends, for the
Fanciers Association.
Yeah. And we would it was just every person would say, you should be on Shark Tank. You should be on Shark Tank. And when we started the process, so let me tell you. So they were having an open call for Shark Tank in December of 2023. I'm sorry, January of 2023. I'm sorry, it was December.
January of 2024.
No, it was for December. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay, we'll say January 2020.
It wasn't during Christmas season.
I
guarantee you.
Okay, so she's right. So she wanted to go to Vegas to do this open call. I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to stand in line and do an open call.
And we weren't ready because we were transitioning from wood to mass production in the USA.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So,
let's just go anyway.
She was like, let's go. And I said, why don't we just go online? Let's see if, look, there's a form, we can fill it out. And we filled it out. So we did that and forgot about it.
Forget about Shark.
Kristina was in the email every day. Shark Tank.
Well, it was tied to my email. And so it was the end of January of 2024. And I got this email in my inbox that said sharktank.tv. And it was like, hey, we want to meet you, whatever. And I thought it was garbage.
You thought it was spam.
I thought it was spam.
It was spam. Oh, no.
A fancy logo, and it wasn't like a letterhead.
And it wasn't sharktank.com. It was .tv. I'm like, how?
So it's like sometimes you talk around your television and then you have ads for stuff.
Yes. So all the time.
Is this?
I threw it into the trash bin, literally into my thing. And I went through a couple more emails. And then there was something in my head. I was like, we did send that thing through. Let me see. And I pulled it back out, read it. And then it said, click here to make an appointment. And it had her name. She's a producer. And I checked out her name. And I'm like, that checks out. Then I went to the thing and it's Callie. And I'm like, what kind of spam is going to want to talk to me? Okay. Right. So I scheduled it. And we then had a conversation with this producer. And she's like, I think it's great. Can you send us your product? And so we ended up sending it to Sony. That's where they tape, is at Sony Studios. And from there it was just
getting phone calls and emails and videos and talking to people and everything, every correspondence we would try to read into it. They use a comma or a period or exclamation mark, or do they use Kristina first or Brian first, or hi guys, or hi Kristina and Brian.
You never know when the road ends and they just say thanks for trying and goodbye. Because that's what happens is 50,000 businesses apply to get on Shark Tank every year. Wow. Of that 50,000, only 1,000 make it through to the casting process. From that 1,000 that go through the casting process, and it gets whittled down week after week of the potentials, then 120 actually make it to get in front of the sharks.
Wow.
And then less than 100 actually air.
So there's no
you can get on it and not air.
Oh, yeah. I wondered because I'm sure there is also an element of how does it actually go at when you're in front of the judges, whatever they call them. Like, I'm sure some people show up and they're flat. There's no energy, there's no connection. So why would they show that? They want to show the stuff that, like, there's good, juicy stuff that people want to watch and see what happens, right? But 100 from 50,000, you guys. I think we need to do a big old like that. I think we are gonna do some emojis for that one because
our emoji party. All right.
that is huge. And I'm a statistics person, so in my head, I'm like 100 out of 50,000. Wow, that is a very small percentage. So I am so excited for you guys. This is like bigger than anyone could imagine, I'm sure.
Yes, and we are airing on April 18th of 2025 here. This is season 16. And
which is a lucky number for
yes, we love 16.
And I are both born on the 16th, and we look for 16. We see 16, and they're like, "It's season 16." We're like,
"That's cool." So, how long ago did you actually record your part of whatever show is coming out?
I think we're not divulging anything if we say.
Okay, yeah, and I know I am sure that a company like Sony and a show like
recorded, talking to that, we recorded last fall.
Yes,
and so we have been waiting since last fall, and then the season opened in October 18th, I think it was, something like that.
October through.
And we didn't hear from them yet. We haven't heard from them yet. Okay, we know they're halfway through the season. We haven't heard from them yet. And we're just, because we are plowing away behind the scenes with just the manufacturing and the logistics of everything with the business and updating the website, because we launched a new website and planning events and all that stuff.
And I will say, as someone who before COVID was not in a business world in any way, like, people don't realize the thousands of little things business owners, no matter what kind of business you have to do on a regular basis. By the end of each week, I have a stack of sticky notes like this, and I'm like, oh, I guess I should figure out what I did and what I still need to do.
So we always knew it says X amount of weeks notice, and that magic number was 3 because we found out 2 weeks ago. So we're like, wow, they literally were committed. It's 3 weeks before your air date. And so the challenge for us is, we can't change the edit. We don't know what the edit's going to be. That is out of our hands, but we wanted to have some kind of a viewing party with our friends. But how do you book something 3 weeks in advance on a Friday night in LA with traffic? In LA County.
In springtime when everybody's out doing stuff and going on spring break.
So we're like, oh my gosh. So we went and looked at locations, and we wanted to support somebody local. Then a lot of the spaces were already booked. So we found a newly renovated hotel. And the way we're supporting local is we have a lot of local friends who have businesses, and they're donating to the raffle. So we have their logo on our website, and we're going to promote them on social media.
I'd be happy to provide something if I can. Any way I can support you guys, we will discuss after we finish this episode.
So sit down and watch it. I'm sure we'll rewatch it. We're just excited to see how, we know how it turns out. We're excited to see how the edit turns out. It will be very memorable, we promise.
That's a big dream moment, a big pinch me moment. I know both of you have been in ways of, what is the word I'm thinking of? You guys are performers, the comedians, you do stuff in that world. And so a TV show at the level of a Shark Tank, to be able to spotlight yourself and the business that you have been working so hard to create and build, no matter what happens of the outcome of the Shark Tank, that is a huge visibility boost for you guys. And that is just so exciting to see.
I think there's 4 entrepreneurs usually on every segment. So like around 8 minutes of airtime. That's like $1 million ad right there.
Yeah.
And then thankfully there are so many podcasts and blogs that are fans of the show. They're going to go on and critique the pitch and what happened and everything. So it's going to live on for a very long time. So we're so excited for that. And we're so excited to reach people like we couldn't reach, because it's really hard for us to pack up and go to every cat show. It's really exciting. We're excited to show something for cat parents. It's not going to fall apart. It's a made in the USA product. We're a family behind the product. It's a product that's going to last, and your cats love it. And when they're not in the frame because they're eating or sleeping somewhere else, going to the litter box, you have something beautiful to look at.
What I'm thinking about is, I can't remember, at least one person, but maybe more, of people I've interviewed who run rescues or foster, that have set up live streams of the kitten area so people can watch them and engage. So many people could use this, a Frame Your Feline, in a space that you could see the kittens playing and moving around. And sometimes you just want to watch a video of a sleeping cat. We got to do what we got to do to get through the day.
100%. Watching, we have a 17-minute montage video of cats with music. Okay. And you can literally just watch it. It's like watching a fireplace. It's like the Yule log, but with pleats.
Yule log.
And it's kind of addictive to just watch the cat and watch the cat do their thing in the frame. And it's just,
right. Yeah. I think also this is such a great story for anyone out there who has a dream, who has a business idea, or has started a business and is struggling. Like, this really shows people to put yourself out there. Ask, say, hey, I want to do it. There's nothing bad will come from just asking or submitting yourself.
Yeah. And I think there's no downside to it. I think people are afraid they're going to get ripped apart by the sharks, or they're afraid that they're going to, we didn't make enough money, so why would they even be cared? So there's all these things that people want to put in front of them that stops them from just trying and doing it.
We talk ourselves out of it.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst? You continually, week after week, you're going through the whole thing, and then you finally get on the show. It doesn't matter. This is what my key advice for anyone is. It doesn't matter if you get a deal. It doesn't matter if you don't get a deal. It doesn't matter if you make a deal and don't ultimately do the deal. It doesn't matter if you don't get a deal or you get a deal and you don't air. Like, there's zero downside to it. There's so many scenarios that can happen to your pitch in this universe of this bubble of Shark Tank, that stop worrying about it, just do it, and then you'll figure it out.
Get off your butt and try it. And you're going to update your website. You're going to start thinking about what your core values are. You're going to start thinking about your logo, your colors. If I did a trade show, what my booth look like. So it's something like this, like business school. It's going to really challenge you to think outside your comfort zone, take some action to grow your business.
And I will tell you this. People behind Shark Tank, like the producers, the directors, the whole team, everybody, I have never met a more welcoming, nice group of people. There was not one dud in the whole bunch of them. And there were a lot of people. And every single one of them cared about your business, care about you, care about everything. And they are just on it. And they're so great. A well-oiled machine, especially after 16 seasons, you'd think. They are a well-oiled machine. And
that's great to hear, because you never know when you step into something like that or something unknown. Like, you can meet bad people and it can be an awful experience and make you want to give up. But it sounds to me like no matter what the outcome is, you guys got to experience something that not only helped you to get to the next level in your business, but helped you guys both grow within the thinking about things you maybe wouldn't have thought about without going through this.
It is business school. There's a lot of paperwork and there's a lot of thinking, like, okay, now we're really thinking about how do you widen your margins? How do you do this? What are the ways you can make your product even better for cat owners? It really does make you think more outside the box than in the litter box, okay, with your ideas.
Yeah, it sounds like almost like a coaching program they put you guys through. Which is so important because I've learned as a podcaster, I have to practice. I have to learn. I have to grow. As a speaker, like I've gone through a speaker mastermind where we spent a week working on our stories and our pitches. Like nobody goes through business schools and comes out and knows exactly how to pitch themselves. And it's going to be different depending on who you're talking to and where you are and online, in person. So it sounds like you guys really got a lot of growth and expansion just through the experience of it.
Yeah, luckily for us, we are performers as well, so we are more comfortable with being on camera and talking in front of others and doing all that. And I could really see how some companies, when they go into pitch, would be like,
yeah. I see it. I just see it on my podcast. When I have guests I've never met, it could be very different how they show up and how many questions they ask and how nervous they are. And I get it, but you have to start somewhere, right? You have to try. And I think that works for no matter what you do in your life and career. Sometimes you just have to force yourself to try it because you don't know what will come from something.
And out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. Yes.
And there's always a solution. Like if you're like, oh my God, this Shark Tank contract is so crazy, or how do I figure out like the first pitch that you have to submit? Like you just have to sit down and just try it. There's always a solution. Get some of your friends together, talk to your cats, have your kid judge you. We took on a lot with a product that has cats and with us. There's a lot going on, but really at the end of the day, it's a beautiful product, it's a fun product, it's a quality product, and we're really proud of what we've accomplished with the business before Shark Tank, and we're really excited to see everything that's going to be happening while it's airing and after. But
tell everyone again when, but also where and how to watch your episode of Shark Tank.
All right, kids, listen up. Take out your number 2 pencil. This is how you're going to watch the good old show on Shark Tank. You're going to tune in to ABC, 8 p.m. East Coast, West Coast. Figure it out if you're Central. Okay. Now, you have to watch the whole show because we don't know where we're going to fall in the lineup. And that's going to be on April 18th, 2025, 8 p.m. ABC. If you have Hulu, it will stream the next day on Hulu. And
you can just Google because there's like probably 8 other ways you can pay. There's like
you might even be able to tap into it on YouTube. I've realized there are so many ways for people to watch things.
Yeah.
And only positive comments, okay, kids, in the social medias, okay? Only
positive vibes, positive comments, positive energy, whatever it is, positivity. And I just know that no matter what happens, it's going to be positive for you guys. It's going to get you to that next level. And I love that I've got to be a tiny little part of your journey. And I am so excited to watch this and to just watch it unfold live with everybody else. And gosh, I just appreciate both of you. I've met so many people through my podcast I know I would have never met otherwise. And I love just being able to see everybody else thrive and grow and get recognition for what you're doing for not only for yourself, your family in terms of your business, but how you're using that to also help your communities. I'm just saying thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being on the podcast yet again. And thank you for how you're utilizing your platform to help cats, which is why we bond, is because we love cats and we just want to help them. And you guys are helping in so many ways. I cannot wait to see what's next for you.
Julie, we won't see you for another 2 years. So I don't know what's going to transpire between now and then, but
we're gonna see each other sooner. I am forcing myself to get to go to CatCon this year at the very least. But yeah, we will not let another 2 years go. But the fact that it's been 2 years and you guys are here now, I just love seeing that. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Thank you for having us.
Here we go. I think this is a good ender. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That is what keeps me going, keeps me podcasting, connecting with people like Brian and Kristina, that are creative and exciting and have these amazing ideas and this incredible company. I can't wait to have a Frame Your Feline myself behind me, but also how all of us can do our part and how all of us can show by example and lead through education. It was so much fun to get to talk to them and hear how far they've come. I mean, being on Shark Tank is huge. That number he said that's really stuck in my head. 50,000 people apply and 100 get on air. Like 164, I think that's what he said, actually do the pitch. And only 100 of them even get on episodes. So even though no one bought into their company on Shark Tank, I was watching it, and I will share that clip on social of me watching. And when they said, sorry, we're not buying, I just felt so bad, because I know that passion and excitement they showed on this episode of Shark Tank really is them. And I really thought there was going to be a buy. I will have them back to tell us what's happening now, because I have a feeling things are still going to happen. That's a huge audience and market for them to tap into. It's a huge accomplishment to be one of only 100 to actually make it air. And so I'm really excited for Brian and Kristina and for Frame Your Feline, and how they're also using this opportunity of being on TV to still help cats in need. They're promoting a fundraiser right now for Mission Meow, which helps cat and kittens all over the US. So check that out, link in the show notes, and we will be back soon with another update from Brian and Kristina. Thank you so much for being here and listening to these pet stories. Make sure you're subscribing and following wherever you're listening, and I will see you in our next episode about some more amazing pets.